So I've cut out pretty much most of the rot in the areas I can get to. A bit difficult at the moment. So I've got this nice big area out of here. This looks absolutely fine from the top, but when I checked underneath, a little hole appeared, so just got to cut that bit out there. So it's all out there. I've got the diesel expansion tank out. So I've now cut right round there. There's a bit under there which I need to get to. This all cut to new metal. All needs tidying up, of course. Then we've got this section here. Still not decided what to do with this yet. I've asked on the Just Campers forum if the diesel expansion tanks are really necessary, because I've never come across a vehicle with diesel, with expansion tanks for the fuel tank. If they're not really necessary, I'll probably get shot of them, and then I don't have to mess about trying to fabricate a new cup for that to go into, for the tank to sit in. I can just basically cut out that whole thing there and weld a patch in. So that's it so far. This is all back to sound. That's all good there. So that's progress so far. So I've welded up. Well, as you can see, I've cut out these bits here, as I just said, and I've welded up the back panel here. I've welded a piece in there and up there and along, and then there's another piece in here which goes underneath. When I weld the front in along here, this piece here, I'll get underneath and I'll weld that to that bit there which I've welded in on the underside. I've welded up this by here, so there's a piece in there to cover the bit that I cut out of. There was a rust hole there, so I cut that out, welded that in. There's that welded on by there. I'm then going to weld. I've got to cut out that little bit of weld there, a little bit of rust, and then I'm going to weld a piece of metal straight over the front of that, and then I'll seal it. Oh, excuse the sound of my leather jacket. Doesn't sound too good. You should always wear a leather jacket really when you're welding, because it doesn't burn holes in it. Yeah, so that's got to be sealed up there. So that's that sorted so far. I'll also be painting that, and I'll be seam sealing that there. So that's that bit so far. So I'm now going to cut out the piece which I've made with this template here. So I've got to just cut a piece of metal to go in there, and then weld that in. And then there's a case of putting a piece of metal in there, and a bit across there, and the seatbelt mounting and so on. So that's that bit so far. So that piece is now welded in there. Yeah, lovely and strong. Nice and strong. Nicely down the side there. Welded in there. Had a little hole up here, so I've filled it in with weld. This is all solid here. There's no filler or rust in that, so that's no problem. Same here. No filler in that. I was quite surprised. I thought that there would be full of rust, but it's not. Full of filler and holes. But it's nice and solid, so I think that might do me for today. It's amazing how long these things take, just little stuff like that. But I can crack on tomorrow now, weather permitting. That's the problem here. In the space of 3 weeks over Christmas and New Year, this is the first day I had a chance to do anything because of the weather. And that's what it's like when you work outdoors and you haven't got a massively well equipped huge workshop to work in, which would be nice. These little spatters you get every now and again. Don't believe what they say about if you use an argon CO2 mix you get less splatter. Well, you do get less, but you still get splatter. So, and there you are. Coming along alright. Well, I just did one more thing tonight. Once you get going, you can't stop sometimes. I just about see it. I've welded a piece in right along there. That's like the return along there. So that goes along and then down there, and then I've got a nice level platform along there, still warm, but along there to weld that piece in by there. And then I've got to make up a piece to go in there with a hole for the seatbelt mount, and then the seatbelt mounting, which I bought a couple of them off eBay. I believe the username is it might be VW T2 Customs or T2 Customs, something like that. But they were £2.95 each. It's zinc, BZP plated, zinc plated, and that's going to go underneath, under that hole, under there, welded on, and there we have it. I've got two of those just in case the other side, which probably will be the same. And there you are.